Okay. And?
There it is.
Happy Saturday, everybody! I'm so happy it's Saturday. You know why? Because it's date night. We get to get in bed with our computers,
Like now?
watch a movie.
Now?
Yeah, no, we're not on our date yet. Well, we're sort of on our date. We started it with everybody else. We're sharing.
I don't know. I didn't get to stay in bed long this morning.
Well,
Cannon shot.
I was woken up in a most startling fashion. So last night, I always have to take a shower before I go to bed because I just need to feel super clean when I crawl into the sheets, and it makes me sleep better. Last night, I was so exhausted that I couldn't do my Friday night show. I just was depleted, just worn out.
And what was I doing when all this was happening?
Oh, you were on your back making noise like this. And you were sleeping, right? So I'm thinking, I'll take a shower and wash my hair in the morning. Well, no water. When you're on the well, like we are, not the city water.
I didn't notice when it went out.
There's no water. So I've had no shower. My hair is dirty, and I'm doing a show, and especially a show for your mom's birthday, which is
it's the little
in a
things,
few days.
Like
you want to know something? It is the little things.
But you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Or how does that?
I didn't run out of makeup. Just
remember
water.
in that movie where
What?
she says, "You know, I never minded the little things."
Oh, with Bridget Fonda. What was the name of that movie? Point of No Return.
Love that
Oh,
movie.
I love that movie. That is a remake of La Femme Nikita.
Run to South Point and just go grab a shower.
You want to know something that I
thought about
I got to
that.
tell you something. I
No.
don't think I can go without a shower tonight.
The other,
I know
the other
I
thing
can.
you have
I
to
have
think
an
about, if the
apartment, 2
RV was
minutes.
here,
I know.
if the RV was here, we would have had backup with the RV, but the RV's away.
Well, only if there was water in the tank.
It's full all the time. I keep it full of diesel fuel. I keep it full
You know,
of
it's
diesel
funny.
and water.
The RV is kind of like if you're, feeling like you just need to be alone,
Yeah.
even when it's parked outside, that's where Todd goes when he feels like he needs just to
Well, I wrote the book in there.
get it down. You wrote your book in there. I go in there, and everybody knows, do not come in here if I'm in there, if it's parked in the driveway, because it means that I need some time to myself. I miss it because that's the one that caught on fire.
Well, the refrigerator.
The refrigerator did, but the whole motorhome is getting fixed right now, so
Well, the roof.
the roof had to be
You got
replaced.
it, Buck. You're back. The roof was damaged where the refrigerator was,
Yeah.
and therefore the whole roof had to get fixed.
Right. I went
So
to visit
the roof-
yesterday.
Now you said you were there. Now, when you said you got in the bed, you mean of that?
No.
Of the other motorhome.
Yeah. Well, I went there yesterday because, was it day before yesterday? Or yesterday. They all blend together. I took the Knight Rider car over there because it needs work. So I had
We're
that
converting
delivered
it into
there.
an RV, right?
Well, I don't know about that, but I went into
kidding.
the dream RV
Joke.
that I saw there, and I got in that bed because most people have never seen the inside of these, and when they they're a house on wheels. I am a
Very true.
big, giant RV enthusiast because you turned me on to it at 15 years ago.
Are you blaming me?
Yes.
In a good way.
And for the chickens as well, because when I met you, you lived on a ranch, and I was a big city girl, and I'd never seen a chicken before, and I fell so in love. I have been a chicken mama ever since. You know, it's just amazing. And RVs, I mean, I love them. But anyway,
Now,
I'm
you
just
know,
really, can
I
we
might
just
have
go somewhere to take a
I might
shower?
have pictures of that RV. I do, in fact, right here.
Which one? You
Well, of the one you were just talking about.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's this place where we're getting the RV fix has RVs for sale there. And when I window shop, I don't window shop for clothes. I window shop for recreational vehicles because that's my thing. That's my jam, you know. So there was one there, and Todd saw it first, and he said, You've got to see this. He texts me, and I walk over to it, and I get on it, and I have a video of it.
Well, but I have stills of it. But
Yeah.
can you see over there where it says Apple TV?
Okay.
What do you see? Nothing is not.
Why
yeah,
don't
that's not what we
why
want.
don't I give you the video because it's just insane. It is
I don't know who you're going to give it to exactly.
Well, I send it to you, and you put it up there like a.
No, it's
first of all, let me just go and see where are we because I don't see our live. Oh, I know we are live, but I don't see it on my YouTube. So let me reload you. I don't think I can. Kat and Todd live. Here we go. All right, I'm going to see who's here. This is what I love this part. Hello, Jennifer, Richard Cleve, Barb Cavern. I got to spend an hour. I got to spend 40 minutes on the phone today with Barb Cavern, and then I got to spend another 35 minutes because it was it was before I was coming out here
Okay, so that's what you were talking about right there.
with Nicole Johnson and
No,
her mom,
this.
and that was awesome. Okay, that is that is a motorhome, everybody. I mean, is that nuts? That is not a motorhome. That is
Here's
the
the walk-in
motorhome.
closet.
Look at that. Now, this is just something that I was marveling at. Do you have a picture of the two sinks? Look, it's got a shower just like a house. Look how big it is.
There's the fridge and I didn't take a million pictures of it.
I didn't know you had these. Look at that kitchen. Come on.
Well, that's
Look
when
at that kitchen.
this thing right here pulls out. It has a dishwasher.
Nikki Luongo says, that walk-in closet is better than my entire bedroom, LOL. I know, Debbie Lewis is so beautiful. Theo Atkinson and Debbie Lewis are right next to each other, and they both live in West Virginia. Linda Wegger, that is a beautiful RV. And, you know, so I love ours, too. I mean, I love Kat, could you drive it, Brenda Stone? Oh, no, you really, it's 45 feet long. I think I can only drive up to about 24 to 27 feet, I think.
I think you could do the Greenway.
No. I get really intimidated when I'm not used to, you know, when you have to make such wide turns. And I saw a truck driving class. There was a truck in front of me yesterday that said,
there's our bedroom.
That's our bedroom on our motorhome, and I love that. Love that, and we have other pictures of that, I'm sure. But
I'm
you know,
sure.
I mean, I always tell people, if you live by yourself,
In fact,
don't dream about buying a house. Dream about buying a motorhome,
There
and
you
then
are.
take your house wherever you want to be.
when I had the edit desk in there.
Yeah.
That was long. See you
But
sitting
look
there?
at it; it's just so humdrum. Now, do you have a picture of it now? Because it's so different.
I don't have anything new.
Oh, I have new ones
humdrum.
of it. It's very. It looked very urban, that picture. Now it's more homey because the mama got a hold of it.
I have
There it
that one.
is. That's ours right there.
That's with the stacker.
That's with the trailer.
Yippee.
Yeah. So
There it is.
there it is.
In its natural habitat. I have a really good one of it at the fair with you, but I also
I think that was.
this is
in
one of my
Nashville,
favorites. This
actually.
is the RV with the when I had the riverboat.
Yeah. That was in Green Cove, Florida.
Look, you would remember such things.
I do. I have an impeccable memory. Thank God.
Now see, there it is with the satellite dish up, which you don't need anymore Thank you, Mr. Elon Musk. We need
You
just a
don't-
little antenna.
Really? You
Yep.
don't need a dish anymore?
And just a tiny one. Those days are gone and gone forever.
That's incredible. And that's when it was,
Well, I had a picture of it
utilitarian.
with the.
Now it's very homey. I have beautiful pictures
There
of
it
it.
is at the
Getting
Alamo.
gas, yes.
But I had a shot of it at the fairgrounds with one of your fairground setups, which is pretty cool. I don't know what I did with it. But anyway.
Deborah Willett, the RV is bigger than my whole apartment. Yeah, no, I can't. You cannot back it into a space. You have to go through a pull-through. Todd, though, can back it into pretty much anything. He's very good. He's a very good driver for this. Where's that?
Oh, there's the fairground.
Yeah. See the trailer behind it with my little face on
Yeah,
it?
in fact, let's zoom in on that, right? Can we zoom?
Yeah. And
Don't seem to be able to
I
zoom.
love when the awning's out. And I love is what's really nice is that you put an outdoor carpet out there and some furniture. And so when the weather's nice, you're indoors, but you kind of make an outdoor. Now all the RVs have TVs on the outside, so you literally set up a living room when you get somewhere. And people
You know,
that
I used
RV
to
are
have
so
a TV
nice.
on the outside, but I got rid of it.
You did?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Well,
I felt that it
we're
was.
out in the heat.
Well,
so
I was like, you're outside, and that you're supposed to be outside chilling and enjoying the world, and
Yeah, but you have TV. You put surround sound on the TV on the motorhome, so you can't go back to just regular sound.
Yeah, well, that's.
I mean,
always
that's
been a problem.
your ears are attuned to that. But I love it. I love everything about RVing, and that's why I tell people if you are thinking about, if you live alone and you're thinking about, getting a house and you're thinking, oh my God, they're so expensive, and get a motor home. You can live anywhere you want. You get tired of it, you move it to where you want to be. It is so wonderful in there. It just feels like you're in the womb. It's that kind of, and all the problems that you experience are all out there.
And then
there's no property tax,
and
and
then
there's no this,
then
and there's no
here's
that,
the-
and it's furnished.
Now, I consider motorhoming to be one of my favorite things,
Yeah.
as you know. And I am not really. My mother used to love, and she would go with Paula on cruises all the time
Yeah.
on a yacht, what I would call a mega yacht. And I went with them one time, and I never really went.
Well, you don't really like boats to be on the water for
Well,
long
so I
periods
just recently took a trip, and so here's what that looks like. This is the other side of the craziness.
I missed this trip. It was a good one. It looked like so much fun.
Like, it's
Oh, it's so pretty.
the-
I'm not much of a boat person, but I got to say that's just incredible. That
Well, I
ship.
had this is driving up to it.
Yeah.
Why does it not play? Play. Well, here, let's fast forward.
Okay.
Oh, there it is there. Oh, there's Marty. No, I was trying to find the one where I drove around the boat, which is actually this one here, I believe.
Oh, where you rode around the boat?
Oh, that's him. Anyway, it's this thing. I guess this is kind of not prepared for this. Oh, there it is. Found it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is there's the boat, and I'll play it from here.
Trying to blow us all out.
Well, it's the motor running, but now that's the extreme. So like whatever we're doing in an RV is small change compared to the world of.
It's beautiful, but give me an RV. I'm happy. I don't need the water.
Well, that's the problem with this, of course, is it takes 14 people to operate these things.
Yeah.
And it's just a whole nother world.
Now, what is that exposed part right there?
That's where they keep all of the toys. So like the jet skis and the speedboat and everything stores up underneath the bow there.
It doesn't. I got to tell you, I am not jaded enough to where I watch planes take off, and land when I go over near the airport, and I think, how do they get off the ground? And to this day, I look at a boat like this, a ship, and I think, now, how does this float with all the gear, all the toys, all the people, all the weight?
Well, if you look
I mean,
at
to this day, I marvel at the simplicity of that.
If you look at this boat, this is all aluminum. So imagine the workmanship in this thing. It's quite something.
Yeah.
RVs are sort of like a lesser version. This is the extreme, you can come out of that, but this is the extreme RVing. So it is, in effect, it is a recreational vehicle. I mean, it is. It's just that it's another level. Like I always felt out of place, so people fussing over you. Like, I mean, you know me, I drop my underwear and 5 seconds later it's been washed and folded, and
Well, that's because you had on that trip. Now, see, I could really use someone waiting on me for a week. That would feel really good.
It is.
Because I'm always the one that does it. But, I couldn't make this trip. But there was a crew member for every passenger.
Yeah, just about.
That
it
is
doesn't work
insane.
exactly like that. There's 14 people taking care of 10 of us, but obviously the captain and all that, so you have management. But the level of service is off the hook. I mean, it's something, and the food is off the charts.
Yeah.
But it's unrealistic. It's like another, I don't even know, alternate universe. you know.
Yes.
To draw to your attention that we are getting lovely donations from everybody on behalf of your mom's birthday being
Oh,
next
That's
week.
right.
thank you
But
so
someone
much.
just donated $50. And hi, America. Hello. My name
There
is
you go.
Kathy Lee Gifford.
There you go.
And we just want to thank you for all your donations. And yes, thank you all for joining
And
us
there's-
tonight
so we can wave.
celebrating
There
the
we
Okay,
mama.
but we know what? Let's get on with the show.
Yeah, now,
because I
so it
think
is,
that, all right.
it's Debbie's
So
birthday,
we're-
it's my mother's birthday.
April
coming
1st,
up.
yeah.
And we weren't going to be with you on the 1st, so we thought we would go ahead and do a Debbie birthday thing with you, and which really, in a way, every day is Debbie's birthday on our show.
Yeah.
Because we always have something to say about my mom.
Yeah.
And she deserves it.
Yep.
But this is, the moment. So we've selected some clips from other birthday parties that nobody's ever seen.
Okay.
We have selected some paraphernalia from my personal archives that has never been seen. In fact, we're going to list even a couple of new items today of some things for sale that have never been up before. But we're going to show some of her little prized possessions and some things that I gave her when I was young. And now I've got everything back.
But what's funny about that is because your mom, there was just certain things she liked, like the silver frames, and now when I
Okay,
see
let's do
them
the
all-
silver frame story.
Okay.
All right, so right here, and I'm going to go the close-up camera for this.
Oh
Close-up-
my gosh, I didn't even know you had that out here.
Okay, so this is a picture of me, and it's in a real gold frame. Now, this is back when gold was not, I mean, you know how old I am there. I'm 18, maybe 17, 18 years old. This is red garnets and gold in a little picture frame. It was the most expensive gift ever that I gave my mom. And I went over to Francis Klein in Beverly Hills, which is a very expensive store. And not that I was going to buy anything there, but I was walking down Rodeo Drive, I think it was Rodeo, and I went by the shop and I saw this little picture frame, and I went in, and the manager was like Sidney Gilleroff, who ran Francis Klein. I don't know if you ever met that guy at all. He's super,
Oh, yeah.
with the
Oh, gosh,
ascot,
yes.
very classy dude. And I went in there and I was like, oh man. And he knew who I was. He'd been watching me since I was a little kid coming in with my mom. Mm-hmm. And I'd never really bought anything in Francis Klein. And I said, I would love to get that frame for my mom. And because, she collects these English silver frames, but that is spectacular. I
So
think
you
she
gave
would love
that
it.
to her for her birthday?
Well, but then when he told me how much money it was,
Did you put it on layaway?
I did. He let me have
know
a
you
year.
so well.
It took me a year to pay this off. It was $800.
Well, you were how old?
Oh, this is 75 maybe,
Oh, so you were like 13.
No, I was 16 or something.
75? Oh,
16
yeah,
or
yeah,
17.
you're right.
There's the picture. Anyway, it was the most expensive gift I'd ever dreamed about buying. And she just, loved it. And this was in her she has a little curio cabinet next to her bed. And it's reserved for little things. Only little things get in there. So this little thing has been in there ever since I gave that to her. And it's, so it was one of her favorite gifts from me. And that was always like, I mean, you think about it, like, it was very extravagant for me to spend $800 that I didn't have. That was the other problem, is I don't think I even had I had like 100 to put down. And so then he let me finance 700 over like 10 months or something.
And now it's yours. I do notice there's some, you know what? Do you want to talk about the cup?
Yeah, let's talk about what we're going to
Okay.
just sell tonight, because we wanted to do something special in honor of Debbie's birthday. So we decided to create these limited edition.
What?
we-
She's on yours.
Oh, well, he said she, and I don't know anymore. I still have it attached, so I wouldn't know. So
You do know what the red light means on a camera.
no, but I mean, he said she. I thought he meant cat. I did, or the dog.
It's
I
very
had-
confusing these days. Anyhow,
I don't know. Anyway, but we're just talking about how crazy times. We created these limited edition coffee mugs for all of you, and there are only, I think, 10 available tonight. And they're really cool. We'll go back to the close-up camera, though, so you guys can see them. They actually have Debbie's signature saying on there, which I'll let Todd
check the
do.
focus, will you, on the close-up camera back there? Because I don't. It's a little soft, and
But,
we want the coolest part. You got to get it in focus to make it happen. There you go. Well, yeah, okay, fine. And roll the focus a little bit.
Give me 1 second.
That's
There
the other
you
hand.
go.
And come back.
Hello,
Right there.
dear.
Good. Hello, dear. This is your mother. But here's the funny part too.
And
cool
then
part.
on the back.
Good morning.
That's right. Because whenever you get up and have coffee, you have to remind yourself to have a good morning. Then you'll have a good day. I think that cup is so
Hello,
darn
And
cute.
then along
I actually like the hello with the dear thing the most. Just because the good morning thing is cool because everybody knows the movie.
Yeah.
But the hello dear to me is special because that was code that only we knew until
Yep.
we shared it with you guys because of this show. Otherwise, the hello dear thing was unknown to the world.
Yep.
Only Carrie and I teased my mother with the hello dear.
Well,
Hello
I-
dear, this is your mother.
yes, Seth?
Oh, no, I just wanted to say what's going to come along with the mug just for this show. So you can buy these.
Okay.
in
So the
Debbie
mug
Ro-
and plus what?
plus a little matchbook from Debbie's personal collection from her house.
And the pin.
And then a memorial pin of Debbie and Carrie from the memorial, as well as a Debbie Reynolds Studio Secrets cream.
Oh,
one
well,
of
that's
her,
a whole nother story then.
Yes,
That
and
goes
it's
with it, too.
actually
That's a
all-
bundle.
So while you're putting on your Studio Secrets cream,
No, that's a nighttime thing. If you
you
do
drink your coffee. I was going to say. So that's you can't do it at the same time then.
it. No, but
Unless you drink coffee at night.
Can you
like
light a match while you're doing it? There are matches in there.
I love those. I do.
And these
So that's
are-
the bundle, right?
That's the bundle, all for
Wait, the bundle for the show tonight or the bundle?
No, there are 10 available of this only for the duration of the show. And it's the cup and the
It's the cup.
cream and the face cream, the cup and the matches and the pin. That's right.
all
That's
for $50.
yes, so
So
that
it's
is
quite a
for,
deal
for
for
$50.
Debbie's birthday. And these are limited edition coffee mugs that, Kat and I and we all dreamt up for
How's
just
that,
her
Kat?
birthday. So this is,
I need to know who MJ is that donated.
well,
Michael
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson has passed on, so I think we have narrowed it down a little, but we don't know who. So
okay, I need to know who that is.
Well, MJ, make yourself known.
because MJ, that thank you.
Well, if he's
That's a-
given something too good, we can give him something back.
Yeah, we will.
And,
That's
and
right.
so if you would like this bundle, you can go on
Oh.
DebbieReynoldsStudiostore.com and you can purchase it there. And we have 10 available, and we also have some really cool stuff actually from Debbie's house that Todd, you
Okay, so
found. That'll be
being-
on the studio store.
Being it's Debbie's birthday, and I have instructions. I know a lot of people don't understand just how much stuff we actually have.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of stuff, and part of what is my charge is to share some of it. I have feelings about a lot of things. Like I mentioned the frame. Obviously, this will stay with me.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that I think she'd be fine with me sharing with friends and fans, especially when I have some things are one-offs. Not everything. It's like a lot of her clothing that was excess. I have obviously handpicked so many things of hers. You see this stage here. For those of you who haven't been with us before, these are a lot of my mother's costumes up here. We have many, of her pieces. So I would just say that we try to share these things with her friends and family and collectors because it's fun, first of all, but it's something she loved to do. She was a collector. She did this herself. So what we've done is we've selected some items. Some have never been seen before, and some have, and we're going to list them tonight. I mean, do you have some special
Well,
instructions?
they're actually up right now if you go to Ryan on
Go
the
to Ryan,
screen.
Mr. Ryan.
he has the first one ready to go.
Okay, a flash sale, he's calling it. Now, this item, did you go take a picture of this on her? Is there a
yes,
picture of this on where it was? So this was in my mom's bedroom where her little pictures of all of her family is. It's a
Oh, look, you
Tiffany.
just
There it
scroll
is.
down.
So she actually collects the silver frames, and this little bud vase was just part of it. Now, if you go back a little bit, Ryan, to the bottom, you'll see this is a Tiffany piece. So there's and it's sterling silver, and it's pretty heavy. So I would just say it's a beautiful little piece, but it's missing. If you see the top there, I believe there was some kind of a rose here or something, but it's still a very beautiful little delicate. Come back to me, delicate little piece. You can see the scale because I'm holding it, and this has been sitting in that same spot. On that same chest.
Oh, I remember that when I
30
first came into
30
this family
years.
and saw it on the desk.
Well, this is all very delicate silver filigree. It's carved sterling, so it's very pretty. Anyway, that was there, and so we're discounting that for tonight's show only. And if it doesn't sell, then it'll go back to its old price. But we're making some special prices. Looks like I see the keychains coming up next. Go to Ryan. So this was my mother's house key to Las Vegas, to her condo. I could tell you the number, but I don't want anybody trying to go use this thing and get into trouble.
Oh, I'm sure they've changed the locks by now.
I hope so.
Yeah.
There she is in Vegas, sitting there in her Vegas condo, which she had since the 70s until like 2011 when we moved her here. But if you come back to me for a second for scale. So this is the little Debbie keychain with a single key to the condo. And this was in her little desk drawer. And I just thought it was a very cute. You can close up over here if you want. Close up camera.
There you go.
So there you can see it there. So it's not real gold or anything. It's just a cute little keychain that she had to keep the condo separate. So that's a fun item. It's not going to be overly expensive.
This is also the infamous Richard Hamlet condo.
Right, for
when
those
that
of you,
debacle
Oh,
happened.
yes.
for those of you that are Debbie lore people, this was the condo where Richard Hamlet threatened to throw her off the balcony, or so she thought.
Allegedly.
Alleged. No, I mean, look, these days you say that, but I believe her because, he had been caught red-handed, as she said, smelling like sex, very, very description. And then so she said that she went and hid in the closet, and quite a description. At any rate, that's the infamous Vegas condo. This is a very cool picture, the one that he just had up. The stuff's still in there. Okay. So show the picture of her on her desk, if you would, Ryan. Go to Ryan. There you go. Back up. Yeah. So this is her little desk. There's a wide shot, I believe, right? A little wider. And you see Carrie's picture right next to it, actually. Keep going back. There was a wider picture, I believe, even. Yeah, there it is. So that's her private little desk. Now, check this out. Come back to me. This desk that you're looking at there is from the Greenway house, probably even before that. But I have pictures of it even at the Greenway house. And so some of this stuff goes way back. Now, this little pen set / holder of little tchotchkes is made of cut crystal. It has a sterling silver pen, but that's not where the story gets interesting. You got the close-up of the pen, Ryan? There you go. Okay. Del Webb Hotel and Casino. Okay, so those of you who know, come back to me now. Del Webb was the largest casino owner in the early days. He owned the Sahara and other hotels. Very wealthy guy. Actually was the contractor for Bugsy Siegel. So indirectly responsible for Bugsy getting bumped off. But he was the contractor, remained in the construction business forever. But this was a hotel, Del Webb Hotel. So obviously my mom had played the Sands, and they had given her this sterling silver cross pen and this little holder that holds it. And inside of it is kind of cool also because, show the close-up. He's got a close-up of it. Go back to Ryan because you'll see it better. But there's weird things in here, including, or there was there, oh yeah, they're there at the bottom. There are dimes in here, silver dimes. Go to the, look, there they are. 2 Roosevelt dimes and 2 mercury dimes. So the mercury dimes,
I don't think
they're pure silver.
I don't think I've ever seen dimes like that since I was a child.
Well, they're mercury and not mercury, made of mercury. That's Mercury, the head of Mercury.
Yes.
And that was 1940s. The Roosevelt dimes took over later, and those are 50s and 60s. But they're both pure silver. 4 pure silver dimes. There's a penny. There's some clips. There's some matches. It's the way it was left, and it's a very fun. Go back to me. It's a fun piece. This is right off her desk. You saw the pictures, and you can get a printout of this on her desk. So it's a fun item, and we have discounted that, right, Ryan? You could explain. I don't. You guys did the pricing, but
Yeah, so all the items tonight that we have are discounted for you guys just because in honor of Debbie's, what would be her 93rd birthday this year, we discounted all these items. So they're all, when you go to DebbieReynoldsStudioStore.com, you just look on the home page and scroll down, and they'll be all right there at a very nice discounted price for you guys to own a piece of Debbie.
They really have
her
double
history.
meaning, some of these items, because, like, first of all, for those of you who are not interested in owning any of this stuff, then I'm just telling you a fun story.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me that it isn't a cool story that this pen was given to her by, this is the guy that was threatened. Bugsy Siegel actually threatened Del Webb.
Really?
Yeah, he said, don't worry, we only kill ourselves, not others. Talking about how he said, I bumped off 12 people, but only like the insiders.
Yeah.
And then he gets bumped off. So boy, did those words come to pass. So to me, that story is pretty hilarious, but not so hilarious if you happen to be related to Bugsy, I guess, which he didn't like being called Bugsy. But at any rate, over to the next item, we have the Carrie version now. This is, I think, cool. Now, I thought we talked about this on a show a few days or weeks ago. We were talking about Carrie. Go to Ryan. There you go. So this is, Carrie did an ad for Mont Blanc, and they gave her some pens and a watch and some things. And you see her holding a fountain pen, but they also gave her some other pens. And I have a few pens of hers, and this is one of them. And it's a beautiful Mont Blanc, which, as you probably maybe know, that those are very high-end pens. If you scroll down a little further, you'll see that it was on display with some other pens of hers in our display case. So this beautiful Mont Blanc pen and a copy of the original ad, right? Yes. It's delayed reaction. It's all right.
You will also receive a copy of the Mont Blanc ad with the pin.
Which is really cool because she's, Now, obviously, what's important about this is, Carrie became the writer. And she collected pens to write with and lost a lot of them. I can't even imagine how many.
How much is that, the pen?
We originally wanted what for it? You have to tell me. I don't know what you guys.
500?
I don't know, Ryan or somebody.
I
Go to
think
the ad,
it was
Ryan.
originally 500. I'll tell you right now. Let me get the.
Okay, so it was $500, and we've discounted it for
to
this show.
$370. So
For $370,
this
because we want
$370.
somebody to be proud to have that. Because I mean, to me, if you have one of Carrie's checks or something, I mean,
Oh my gosh.
this pen could have easily have written that check.
John Eric St. James, you're incredible. And MJ, make yourself known to us if you don't want to do it publicly. Write us at catandtoddlive@gmail.com. I need to know.
Do we have to sing them a song or something?
Well, with you just got to thank you everybody for your donations tonight. That is awesome. We appreciate it so much. Now,
We try to entertain.
have we gone through all that?
No. So now we have more. We have show and tell.
This is show and tell.
No, this is
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Let's go to after the
to
video.
the video. Now, let me explain.
Let's go to the videotape.
What we are trying to do is mix up like show and tell with live video. And if you watch carefully in this video, you'll watch the jewelry that my mother is wearing in this particular clip. It happens to be a great birthday clip anyway, so I'll talk through it where I can. But without further ado, we'll do the clip.
Okay, this is your mom's 50th with your grandma's 70th.
So a 50-70 party, they called it. Hit it, Wake.
A moment here. The reason that
Now
the
it's feeding
evening
back
happened
because we're on
is
Ryan.
because of my mother.
It needs to be
This
on
is my
playback.
mother's. We hate to, but she doesn't mind. She reminded me how I'm 50 and my mother's 70. And the reason the party is happening tonight is that my mother said to me, one night we were talking, and My mother doesn't drink, but I fortunately do. And she said, I've never had a birthday party. Oh. This is my mother's first big birthday party.
Now that looks like Ruta behind her. Is it Ruta? Yeah, so Ruta Lee is standing next to my mother. And you're going to see people in this that are long gone.
We've had a few
This is her backyard, by the way.
moments.
Which
ups
house?
and downs. And I
This
said,
is
so
the,
Mother said, well, we can't afford
the
that. I said, we can't afford
North Hollywood,
not to have
Lomita.
a party because this is our time. We have my daddy, my special daddy, Mr. Raymond Francis Reynolds. My name is Mary Francis, and I'm named after my daddy. And I hope I'm like my daddy. The only thing I don't want to do that my daddy has done is raise a beard. It's enough already that I'm as stubborn as he is. He's a wonderful, magical father. I've been very, very lucky to have two of the most wonderful parents that anybody could ever have in their whole life. And that's my mama and daddy. That's Maxine Harmon. Then she married my daddy, and then she got Reynolds.
I want to say this. I want to thank Ray Reynolds and Maxine because they begat, as the Bible says. They begat one Debbie. And in begatting Debbie, they gave me not only a friend, the best I've had, but a child. And she's made my life very worthwhile, and I just hope one thing, that God grants me many years, or some years at least, to spend them for many more happy birthdays, Maxine, with you, and Debbie, to see you where I want to see you. Happy birthday.
So that's Lillian Sidney, George Sidney's wife, but also
In some
the
ways, Rudy might
assistant
know her better than a lot of
to
us.
Louis
Rudy,
B. Mayer that I
tell us
mentioned
about your
before.
first meeting.
Rudy Render, my favorite. Shy.
Sing it. You're a teacher. Sing it, darling. We're your class. We're your class.
Oh my gosh,
first
singing
meeting
young.
with the lovely little lady was at Fort Ord, California. I was in the service with Bill, her brother, and this little girl used to come up and entertain the soldiers. And we all loved her, and from that meeting, a friendship came about. And they've been very, very dear to me, her mother and father. I remember once when I was sick, and Mr. and Mrs. Reynolds took me into their home and took care of me for months. Anyway, it's been a great relationship, and we've done some really fun musical things together, and I think perhaps in the future we'll be doing something that'll be really terrific.
I would like, first of all, I think it's wonderful that my daddy is still standing. And that daddy doesn't drink. I mean, this is very
Check out
hard for
Grandpa.
my
He looks so
father, who's
good.
78 years old.
Look at him. Judge Roy Bean.
This man is a very special man. He's so full of shit that it's just wonderful. And he's my daddy has always adored his daughter because I was the only girl. I mean, there were so many boys, but I was the only girl. So this is my daddy, who's the best guy ever. And I don't know where Hazel, does Hazel go to the bathroom? Just a minute, just a minute. Now, there are friends of my daddy has friends here that are from the railroad, and even the railroad is gone. So we would like to, I'd like Daddy to say a couple of words because he might have to leave in a minute. Now, what do you think, Pops? You want to say something about Mama? You want to say something about your Mama? You know, your wife, and you know. This is my daddy.
Well, this will be a surprise, but this girl over here chased me for 2 years before
Here's Uncle Bill on the right, Maxine on the left.
You don't stand here and tell me what to say.
My mom's giving him
I was trying to tell
notes.
my daddy what to say, and he just said to me, "Don't you tell me what to say." No, you say what you want.
Right here. That's what I said. What you
Well, I don't want to say anything.
Say something. No, come on.
Sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jerry. Happy birthday to you.
Well, it's a long story. Yes, I was on a little voyage in her stomach, and just kind of hanging out. I knew her a lot better then. It was a very close relationship, about as close as you can get. Anyway, I have to say that you couldn't have a better mother. You know, I remember the one line that always used to get me was the press used to come over to me and they'd say, "So how is it to have a mother like Debbie Reynolds? I mean, it's got to be something fantastic." I said, "Well, I don't know. She's just a good mother. Did you have a good mother? You know?" And that's all it is. She's a very good mother. I love her very much. And I also love my grandparents a lot, too. My grandmother is wild.
Yeah, that's right.
She comes up, she's possibly the master of the one-liners. Nobody today has beaten her. I have to say this one thing, because this does work. We're at the dining room table at the Greenway house years and years ago, and this girl had come back from London with me. This was like one of the earlier girlfriends I had. And we're sitting at the table, and the whole family is there, and my mother had a boyfriend at the time. He was sitting there, and the line he says, "Well, Todd doesn't like girls, right? Like joking, right?" And my grandmother says, "No, you're right. He likes hookers."
Oh, I remember.
So, a one-liner, you know. So, with the other crowd. Anyway, I'm glad to be here, and I really love you all.
Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart.
I want you to know that Mother paid for the balloons and Mother paid for the cake. So if we don't blow up the friggin' candles, Mother's gonna kill me.
They're on a cardboard.
Because they're on a cardboard bottom, and if you don't blow them out, the whole friggin' place is up in grabs.
Use that
I'm
language.
sorry, friggin' is not bad, Mother. The other word is bad. Mother has already said, don't say friggin'. I'm sorry, I apologize.
It's okay, Debbie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Mother.
Happy birthday, dear Maxine.
Sandy Afson. Everybody's gone at that circle.
Thank God you were able to digitally save it when you did, because you can see
Well,
how fragile it is.
First of all, this is early video cameras, and you know the streaking is because there were tubes. It was a tube video camera, so when a light hits it, it leaves that streak. Those
Yeah.
were what was called Satacon tubes. So the quality in low light, everything. We're lucky. I mean, to have something like that on my grandfather is.
What year was that? Do you know?
We did 50, so it's 82.
82.
82, and you know, to see them, you know, in that, that's the last time. I mean, he lived several more years, but he became, you know, less talkative and whatnot.
Ray, your
Yes,
grandfather?
he started to become a recluse in his garage, in his shop.
Yeah.
But he was the one who gave my mother the sense of humor. I don't think my grandmother had much of a sense of humor.
No.
You know, she was the straight person. But it was an interesting thing to watch this. I had no idea what I was going to say because I didn't watch this. And so I was watching just as curious as anybody what the hell I was going to talk about.
Yeah, I've never seen that before either.
Yeah, so
good
it's fun
job,
video. But
Seth.
here's the thing. Look at Kat's ears.
Oh, me?
Yeah, show Kat.
Okay, well, I do have my microphone on, but I did put these on.
Those are the earrings my mom is wearing.
Yes, so
They're
those
made
are
of
the ones she
turquoise
was
and
just,
diamonds.
She was wearing them in the
And then
video.
here's if we go to the close-up camera, this is the rest of the set. So it's beautiful little bracelet that's made to match the earrings.
And a ring.
And
I
there's
love
a
the
beautiful,
ring.
here, you want to put the ring. The ring is stunning.
The
Here,
ring
you
is
could
so
put
pretty.
the ring on. And then what I think is the coolest thing, and I've actually worn this myself because it's unisex.
Yeah, that ring is beautiful.
This is a spider.
Yes.
Isn't
that
that the
always kind of
coolest?
eluded me. Like, why a spider?
Why
Is it
not?
a spider or a bee? It looks like a bee to me.
No, I mean,
No,
look,
but, I
it's
mean, women
to
don't
me,
like
it's a spider.
spiders.
Oh, I just think it's fantastic. To me, it looks
No,
like
it's
a spider.
Yeah.
But I think that, I mean, and boy, what a set. I mean, because that's 4 pieces,
Yeah.
2 earrings, show cat. She
Ring.
can
Well,
show
we
them.
also
earrings
have footage of
and the ring. Yeah, that's pretty.
we have footage of your mom wearing this back to the early 70s in Vegas.
Right.
This set? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, we don't know the exact origins of it. I don't know, but I'm going to guess it's a Carl thing. The turquoise seems like something my mother would want because of the Indian background in our family, possibly. But I always thought that was a very cool.
Perhaps the spider is because of Charlotte's Web.
Oh my gosh, that would make perfect sense.
So maybe
yes.
she got that around that era.
Yeah. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you for sharing.
That
Thank
was
you.
Mary
I've always
Mason who
wondered
shared
about that
Very
because she
good.
was Charlotte in Charlotte's Web.
And that
That's
made me very sad.
yes, I
That
bet.
movie, very upsetting. When I was a little boy, when they ran that film, we watched it in the projection room, and I thought the movie was great, right up to the point where she's starting to explain the cycle of life.
Yeah.
And now she's leaving.
Yeah.
And I had to leave the room. I mean, my mother is so convincing that it freaked me right out.
You know what I love watching that video, because I've never seen that video either, but what I love about that video is, you know, you getting up and talking about your mom, and you maintained that that beautiful love that you had for your mom to this very day. I mean, you know, like the love that I'm so happy I got to witness that and be part of that, because I've never seen anything quite like it. Although I will tell you this, I had a phone call with Nicole Johnson and her mom today, and the two of them, their relationship, it's as close as I've seen. Just, you know, but you don't see that very often.
Well, I mean, you know, Carrie, this is you notice there's somebody absent. This was the rough time.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
That rough time, did it last a decade?
Yeah.
10 years?
Yeah.
And they didn't speak much, or is how?
Not at all. Or if they did, it was just so casually. And, you know, Carrie was very guarded, and, you know, and I had to give all these messages to my mother, and I used to be like, I'm not going to tell her that. You need to rewrite that. You know, I mean, it's like, I'm not giving that message. Or Carrie would say, my mother would want her to do something or come be, and she would like, no, I'm not going to. She just didn't want anything to do with it. They were very, and it's not that unusual for this to happen. It had a lot to do with, you know, Carrie having an early overdose at, I think, you know, pretty young age. I forget. It's what's in Postcards from the Edge. In
Yeah.
fact, that's how the movie,
Yes.
you know, that it opens, I think, with the overdose scene. And so, you know, it's that led to the blackout. And it was a difficult period for me because I had to be the liaison. But I kept saying, I don't understand why you guys don't get along. I mean, why am I in the middle of all this?
Yeah, that must have been, I can't even fathom it, because by the time I came into this family, that was well over, and they were, you know, complicated but very close. You know,
Right.
very.
Well, Carrie had decided that the competition wasn't really a competition and would relax, and that's all it really required. Also, there was, you know, there's one of the most difficult things in mental illness or drug abuse or alcohol abuse is the shame.
Oh, always,
and-
because
and
that's the base
So
of it.
shame will keep people from speaking to one another and rebuilding those relationships. And shame is actually a complete lie. You know, it does not need to exist. And so you need to reject it if that's what's keeping you from somebody. Because in the end, it was all an illusion. The whole thing.
Well,
the shame was an illusion.
Yeah, but,
As if Debbie wasn't accepting of Carrie.
right.
Ever. As if I was not ever accepting of Carrie. And there were times where she even questioned me later on,
Yeah.
as you know. And that was partly because of some bad company and voices
Oh, yeah.
in your ear.
Well, you know, I think a lot of people don't realize, too, is when you're that famous and all the eyes are on you, and your life is not private. And that's, honestly, I've always felt that actors get paid so much money at that level of stardom because you give up your private life. You
Right.
really do.
Comes
and
with the
and
lunch.
and you should, because
Well,
without
it's
your
just part of
fans,
the
you know,
job. It's like
yes,
an-
it's a side to that dinner, and it's a beautiful side to that dinner.
It'd
But
be
lot
like
of
a
people
mechanic
can't-
saying, I don't like to get my hands dirty.
Exactly.
I mean, a mechanic, it comes with the lunch. You're
Yeah.
going to work on a car, you're going to get your hands dirty. You can't sit back like a prima donna. You can. And,
Oh,
and
yeah,
sit
you
back and
can.
say, I can't get my hands dirty. And that is what a lot of celebrities will do, is
Right.
they do stand back and don't want to interact.
But I will say that also, I think that one of the dangerous things of celebrity, especially at that scale, is that you have so many yes people around you, and you're so fantastic, you're this, you're that, and that's not real. You know what I mean? Like that just is it's an ego inflating mechanism,
Well,
and not preparing
Isn't it
anybody
the-
for life at all.
Isn't it mirror, mirror on the wall? Who's the most famous of them all?
Yeah.
I mean, it's people want the mirror to reflect back. But you know what happens to so many? They are told, like you said, oh, you're so amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and then they go home and look in that mirror. And they, when it's all said and done, they're just like you or me or anyone else. We're all the same. We have the same flaws. We have the same problems. We have the same fears, and we have the same loves and likes and dislikes.
And losses.
And yeah, we experience a lot of the same things. I mean, the human condition is the human condition, and in the mirror it reflects that uniformly. You know, you may look prettier, but ultimately when you look past the pretty image in the mirror and you look deep into the spirit or soul,
Yeah.
that's what really matters. The most beautiful movie ever made is The Portrait of Dorian Gray. And in this movie, a man gets his portrait painted. And he's a beautiful man. And there's like a magical thing that happens with this Egyptian cat, and it freezes time for him. He never ages. But the painting, not only does it age, but it reflects his soul, his life. So if his life is ugly in some fashion, it alters the painting. And we never get to see the painting until the end of the movie. And the movie's in black and white. And at the end of the movie, they reveal the painting. Portrait of Dorian Gray. Watch that movie. It's awesome. What's important about that movie, though, is that it is such a true thing that you wear those things.
Well, you know my saying, right?
Yeah, I love your saying. Hit it.
Before 30, you have the face you were born with, and after 30, you have the face you deserve, because you wear your life in your face. And I mean, I can look at a person and tell what kind of a life that they've had just because of the way they age. And, you know, when people are angry all the time, that is literally like etched into the muscle.
And how they act, too.
And how
What's
they
their
act,
demeanor?
yes.
You know, how do they interact? You know, I mean, this is something that the mirror itself doesn't show, but the person looking into the mirror knows the truth, what's behind the eyes, what's deep in the eyes. So there are, now that hasn't been dealt with entirely in the movie. The best example is the one I just gave. But I normally feel that all of life's questions have been answered in the movies. Normally, I feel that way. This one hasn't quite been done yet. Maybe we'll get to it. So, having said that, we have another clip. We're moving on.
Well, speaking of
Clips.
Carrie, we actually get to hear from her in this next clip from your mom's 55th birthday, just 5 years after this.
Now, by the way, let's do the
let you set that up.
timeline.
So that was her 50th birthday?
Yes, and 5 years later, she's starting to talk to my mom again. So we're picking it up with that.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what a beautiful relationship they ended up having.
Yeah,
You know,
it all comes out in the wash.
it really does.
Years ago, just so I won't pretend.
She's sober, by the way, here.
Now, while they rehearse, I'll sing all of my hits. You know, when I get nervous, I ad-lib. I'm hysterical. I tried for a nighttime show, but Joan got it. They'll rehearse her first song that my daughter ever sang before she married her first Jew. There's more? Probably. Everything that comes, comes again. I used to come home absolutely smashed. I don't know where. Something happened. And I would always say to my little daughter, "You sing, you sucker." She's been in therapy 19 years, but now she's doing 15 years. Tap dances like crazy in the bathroom.
We've come a long way from no singing at the table.
I love you. Time and again I will try to say all I want you to know. If I loved you, words wouldn't come in any easy way. Round in circles I'd go, longing to tell you, afraid, shy. I'd let my golden chances pass me by. Soon leave me, off you would go in the mist of day. Never, never to know. I love you if I
So you see, they're starting to be okay.
Yeah. You know what's weird? That was the song I sang for my Les Mis audition.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I sang "If I Loved You" for my
But she's singing
audition.
it to my mom. You know, like think
Yeah,
about
no,
that.
I'm loving
Look at my
this.
mother. She's crying.
I used to, Carrie's voice used to
The
just
best
get
thing
to
for
her.
me after that song, because all of you here have had children, I'm sure, and if you haven't, then you should. And rent them out.
By the way, this is up at Carrie's house, the one that was on Oak Pass.
Oh yeah.
Perhaps most of our time in show business, we used to get together and have what we call parties, estinos, where we all participated. And we all sat about. And we all sang a song. And it was the best of times. No reason for you to be under this tent here, you see.
Is she just making it up?
It's me, dear. Look how
Yeah.
I survived all the life. And the biggest conquest you see is to find 9550S. That's this address you see.
Oh, how cute. Donald O'Connor.
Story, I think about it. You know, I love the downfall of dignity. Gene is the antithesis, you know, the epitome of a wonderful gentleman. And telling the story about, you know, You Were Meant for Me, that wonderful number, was on that stage with a ladder and a bank of lights and a wind machine. That's why he sets it up in the movie. They do this gorgeous number. Debbie's up on the ladder. So you tell them that. Tell them
Well, you know, I'm really dumb, and everyone's brilliant, and I don't know why I'm there. And the fact that I was so dumb is why I did well. I didn't know that you should be afraid. I just wanted to get out of this because Gene was so tough on me. So we're doing the number You Were Meant for Me, which is a classic number. I don't know that I really can do it well because I don't know that I'm too dumb. So we're doing the number, and I chewed gum because I didn't know to drink then. Now I'm happy. At the time, though, I chewed gum. Now, Gene Kelly is a lovely person, and his hair was thinning that he was 39 only, maybe. What did I know? I thought everyone over 12 was old. So he had this little piece there, like a little round thing there. Now, we're on the ladder. I'm on the ladder. I'm up there, you see. And he comes, you were meant for me. He comes over and he leans against it. Now, I knew before the shot I forgot to get rid of my gum. So I knew he'd just chew my ass. Just kill me. I take the gum, I stick it on the ladder really fast. Roll him. Now he comes up, you and I was you, nature, and he went dancing up, and his hairpiece.
Never thought I'd feel this way, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad I got the chance to say that I do believe I love you.
And when there are times when we're apart, well then close your eyes and know these words are coming from my heart. And then if we can remember, keep smiling, keep shining,
Knowing you can always count on me, for sure. That's what friends are for.
in good times
And bad times I'll be by your side forevermore. That's what friends are for. That's what friends are for.
keep smiling, keep shining.
That's all we know is one more.
How cute.
Oh,
How cute is that?
well, you know,
Ridiculous.
I'm really sorry that I didn't get to meet Donald O'Connor or Gene Kelly. Those are two people I would have loved to have met.
But you notice what she opened this section up talking about was how, in the day, entertainers would sit around and do this,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and no one was offended or trying to outdo anybody, but there you just get up and do things with each other.
Well, it's such an incredible way to connect. I mean, it's, you know, sharing a talent like that and being old friends. I mean, it's just, it's like the missing piece of the
But
puzzle
you know
at
how
that
hard
moment.
it is to get up in the middle of the night at a party and sing a harmony part like that. I mean, you know,
Well,
that,
not for two pros.
No, but I mean, it's still not,
Yeah.
you know what happens there. See, my mother will do that to people. She'd be like, hey, let's go do this with me, you know, and they're like, shit.
Oh,
So,
your
like,
mom was a great harmonizer.
right, but people didn't want to get up and do that. Like one time my mother did this to Howard Keel and he refused to get up. He's like, I don't sing unless I warm up and do all my routine. I mean, and she was like, oh, give me a break. You have a killer voice. You're going to, he's like, no, Debbie, I'm not going to do it. Even for you, I'm not going to do it. So there were people that wouldn't roll with you.
Yeah.
Even my mother, however persuasive she was, which was substantial. You know, Donald and her were so cute together. I mean, were they adorable together? Or what?
Oh, gosh, yes.
I Love Melvin is one of the cutest little offbeat movies ever.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, that little dance number they do. Ba-ba-da-doop-doop-doo.
What costumes do we have?
We have several from I Love Melvin. I have the football, but I also have the little yellow dress. I also have the little pink checkered dress
Oh, the
from I
pink,
Love.
yes, yes. But the little foot, when she was dressed
The
up as a
football.
football, oh,
Well, I
that.
love that number.
I do
but,
too.
But you know, they had such chemistry. It's and the cute little voices, the little simple vibrato, and it's just so pleasurable. I mean, I really miss this type of music, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and the charm.
Oh, so someone just said something that is just so true. They said, let's see, where was it? Oh, I hope I can.
I have one for you if you.
Well,
Okay,
while she's looking.
It says, we're never going to see talent like this again.
Well, I hope that's not true, but there's a thing that has gone away. When I was a little boy,
We will never have stars like those two again, Beth M.
Well-
That's really true.
well,
I
I mean,
mean-
their history was compete. I mean, you couldn't compete with the magic that occurred and the way they were raised and trained. And Donald was in vaudeville as a little boy, long before my mother would ever get on a stage. So he had another 10 years of experience beyond my mother in terms of dancing and singing.
Yeah.
And I mean, the guy was so talented, but also just such a really beautiful person. And you know, the idea, this whole thing took place in my sister's yard. I mean, you're looking into her living room on the left, the steaks and chops or whatever.
Yeah.
That was just one of Carrie's collectibles in the backyard. And the piano was drug out there so they could have a little something. Somebody, probably Joey Singer, was out there playing. You know, I mean, this is late 80s. This is 87 or something. And, you know, I was living up there at this time.
Yeah.
You know, that's when I was living with Carrie. This is after I broke up with my first wife, and I was living up with Carrie, and she had broken up with the Jew, as she said. She's referring to Paul Simon, and so that we now Carrie and I were loving it up there. I mean, I thought it was fun. I mean, people would come over to this party even. This was an extension of how it was, you know, in the early days. And my childhood was sort of the dawn, the dusk of the golden era. In many ways, that when the Greenway house died and all of that luster went away from the industry, it was never the same. But we had huge parties at the Greenway house, and we don't have films of those. There's a few still pictures that are around, but nothing quite like this, where this is the first video cameras made. I mean, you're looking at crummy video footage, but what's beautiful is that you have pretty decent sound, in decent pictures, even like a little better than nothing, right? So we're capturing a time that we probably won't ever see again.
Now, someone did say that this is where Carrie might have gotten the inspiration for Postcards from the Edge, the singing at the piano. And
well, actually, this is way after that. Okay, so that Debbie,
film, I should say.
Well, but think about this. Postcards was named this very year. Carrie and I were at the Great Wall in China. Carrie was writing Postcards from the Edge right now during that scene, during that moment in time. She's writing postcards, and we're up at the house at Oak Pass, traveling a lot together. And what Carrie's portraying in Postcards, when my mother jumps up on the piano, or Shirley does, and sings Good Times and Bum Times, I think, is that correct? That was my mom's, you know, she would do that at the Greenway house, like in a big way. So the Greenway house was a show place for this kind of stuff. This was a pretty low-key version of Greenway, although Carrie ramped it up. So this is right when the Carrie and Penny birthday party was starting to happen jointly.
How many years did Penny Marshall and Carrie have their birthday parties together?
About 30.
And when did they stop? I know Penny got sick. She had cancer, but did
They
they do it all the way up until
They did
then?
go right to the end. They did. Just not quite the way it had its peaks. You know. Obviously, when Penny was, before Penny was ill, they were more co-party hosts, and it was very magical. And Carrie really was bringing back, in many ways, what the Greenway was. I mean, in many ways, those parties at Carrie House, you know, and Mary, of course, was there at Greenway. Oh, you have a Greenway? Oh, you have stills. Hit it. Right. So we could put this on while I'm talking.
Okay.
So these are stills of the Greenway House parties. That's Edward G. Robinson. You can see Harry Carl in the background on the left. But my mom's actually holding on to one of the wine glasses from the Hearst Castle. Right behind her is the Greenway piano, and you see the music stand. But, I mean, she's like, somebody's obviously right there playing music, because she's dancing with Edward G. Robinson, who I would not really think of as a dancer per se. So that was one example. Is that like Marge Champion?
I don't know who it is, but look what earring she's wearing.
So we're back to these earrings, are we?
She's got these on?
Or does she have the diamond ones?
No, those are...
Those are the turquoise. All right. So, yeah, so this is the music room, which is attached to the living room, which is attached to this big dining room. And you could have 100 people in this area without any trouble whatsoever. You have more?
I'm finding them as we go here.
Anyway, so now there's the piano that she would actually get up on many times. And this piano to this day has been restored and is now sitting in our living
house,
room.
yeah.
So the Greenway
I would just like to
lives
point
on.
out that Harry Carl in this picture reminds me, you know, I'm going to ask everybody to write the name of this person I'm about to quiz you on in the chat. I want to see you. But in high school, there was always the nerdiest nerd of nerds, and I love nerds, so I'm not being disrespectful. I love nerds. I am a nerd. But here's the thing. They always wore their pants too high. There was always one. They're so smart. They were kind of a little bit of a social outcast. They wore their pants up really high and had to pull the belt tight, you know, just like Harry Carl looks right now. But at this age even, I don't care when you graduated, put the first name or the name of the person in the chat, because we somehow remembered that person.
Well,
Who was yours? Do you remember in your high
there
school?
was nobody.
It was Todd
like
Fisher.
Harry Carl. Nobody. Harry Carl.
Todd Fisher was the one that wore his pants too high.
No, I never. My pants were always falling off.
You know what? That is so true, because you don't have a butt, and
I have no hips.
Yes.
So no, that wasn't my problem. I was kind of an anomaly. I was a mixture of things. You know, I was a techie.
Looking to see
my
who-
nickname in school was the professor.
Look at Steve Urkel. Tammy Wilson on there too. Hi, Tammy. It's good to see you. Gym teacher, speech teacher, Leroy, a lot of
back to
people. Eugene. But when you were
Who
in
said
high
that?
school, who was the person at your school?
Let me
What's
see
the
it.
first name of the person at your school that was the nerd that you'd see walking around by himself with his pants up really high? Because I'll tell you what,
I don't think
bet
so.
that they are living their best life now, because people that were popular in high school usually have a hard time adjusting to the world after high school, because they were a big fish in a small pond, and then they go out and they're a small
Not
fish
sure.
in a large pond, and that's kind of hard. But people that wore their pants up too high, they usually live to have the last laugh. That's the way I look at it, you know?
Well, anyway, the point is that these parties were off the charts, and Carrie did keep the tradition going for many years. In fact, I told a story a few weeks back where I'd heard a story that Mark Wahlberg told about his first time many, many years ago going to Carrie's house to a party. And he said he was being a little raucous. Carrie went to my mom and said she didn't really know how to handle, you know, the situation with him. And my mother grabbed him by the scruff of his neck and threw him out of the party. And he tells that he got thrown out of the party by Debbie Reynolds. And, you know, she might have been instrumental into bringing him around.
Yep.
Think about it. He's made a really amazing turnaround. I mean, from getting thrown out of parties to doing Pray With Me on what's the name of the site? Mark Wahlberg's praying site.
Oh, Hallow.
Hallow.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've belonged to Hallow since it came out. I love that
Well, I
app.
think it's a great thing, but I just think that's quite a transition from being thrown out of a Hollywood party by Debbie Reynolds,
Yeah.
physically,
Yeah.
and you know, if Carrie doesn't know how to deal with you, holy mackerel, you know, that's got to be that must have been a performance.
That's right, Theo. Got it. He said hello. You know,
Any other
somebody
clips?
is here. That Whitebird. I don't know who you are, but when you say I love being a nerd, me too. And I married one. I've married a couple of them actually, but this is the one right here. So yes, being a nerd is a good thing.
All right, so I have something.
Prepares you for life. Yes.
I have something that I can share that is, I'm assuming.
Are you
still seeing the Apple TV back there?
Negative on Apple. You ready for Apple?
Well, I'm asking if you see it on your left monitor. Okay, so I'm going to show you the piano. This is the piano that we were talking about at the Greenway house. Now, that very piano ended up in storage and eventually at many houses and eventually at DR Studios for 50 years. And there is the piano literally beaten to a pulp. And then my friend, who I'm going to show, Fred Wallacky, one of the most magical, beautiful people I know.
Yes.
Incredible guy. He came to help me restore this piano and worked on it week after week by coming up to the ranch and working on it. And now there is the piano sitting in our living room, fully restored.
It looks like brand new. Look at that.
So that piano has now gone from this
to
to this.
Yeah, your mom would love that so much.
And what's important is we were just telling, now by the way, before the Greenway, there's the piano in Conway. So this piano was purchased by Eddie and Debbie in the 50s. Then it went to the Greenway house. Then it went to the Oakhurst house. Then it went to DR Studios, where it was promptly destroyed by all the people. Here's a close-up of it. You can see how in progress that was after everything got stripped.
Believe me, that looks good right there.
Well, that shows you how the wood
Yeah.
really was starting to come around. And then, it, here it is getting packed up and sent to the refurbishers.
You know what's nice? It's got ivory keys.
It has real ivory keys,
Yeah.
which is not good in some ways.
Yeah, but for a pianist, that's a beautiful feeling.
In fact, the guy actually wanted me, there's the keys there. The guy wanted me to actually restore some of the chips that were on the keys. And I said, oh no, because I remember so many things at this piano in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, since I was the smallest of boy, my first, playing on a piano myself was on that piano. I watched Irving Berlin talk my mother into doing Annie Get Your Gun at that piano. I watched everybody you could think of, from Frank Sinatra on down, rehearse with my mom at that piano. And the man you saw, the black man in the first clip, Rudy Render, was her arranger back then. And I watched her do all these arrangements there, including that Bobby Darin sequence with she and Bobby Darin. It's amazing. So many things were done at that piano. It's off the charts. That you have to preserve these things. They can't not be just left. Like, I could have easily written that thing off. And by the way, if something happened to me, that would just look like a junker piano. Let's get rid of it and give it to the Goodwill, right?
Yes.
That piano would have been written off.
Oh, for sure.
So this is why it's
People
important.
are making a lot of comments about how nice it is to see something restored. And that's true, because it's such a disposable world. But when something has that kind of history, and a sentimental value to you, you want to do everything you can to preserve it. It was just beautiful. It is a beautiful piano.
Sentimental journey.
I love when Wes sits down at it and tickles the ivories.
With you.
He loves that piano. Okay, so is there anything else that you want to show?
I found some really, if you want to talk about them, Todd.
Wait. One more Apple TV. Go.
Okay. And
Apple TV. There you go. There's the piano. And look, there's Carrie in front of that piano at the Conway house when Eddie was still around. So there's the history of that piano even further back than I showed you a minute ago. So that's pretty cool. That's one of Carrie's parties you've got up now, right?
Yeah, I found some party photos that you were referring to.
Well, I mean, this is Carrie with her little buns on. But I have a lot of the parties. Now, this, of course, is up on the Coldwater house. There's Beverly D'Angelo on the right, one of Carrie's closest friends. And then there's Carrie. Looks like she's having a good time. But we have a lot of pictures. But, one of the things at these parties you didn't want to do, was also take too many pictures and make people self-conscious. Obviously, there's a great moment with Carrie and my mom at one of Carrie's parties. That's the backyard at Coldwater. And I don't really recognize, there's Beverly in every shot. There's who, the man that broke Carrie's heart.
Yes.
I won't give him any name brand credit.
Okay.
And now that was at Trader Vic's, one of my favorite restaurants ever, and that's one of the birthdays. Now this was right at the early points when that was my birthday. So Carrie came, and it was okay, is all I can say. Isn't that a cute little picture, though? That's like 3 peas in a pod there. When you see that picture, what do you think?
That it's all of you against the world.
And that's
Three
how it
of
was.
you.
Yeah, no, it was.
That's what it makes me think.
Yeah.
Someone is asking if the Greenway house is still standing.
It is.
And the North Hollywood house. Well,
They are.
The North Hollywood house Uncle Bill lived in.
Yeah, it's been restored.
And it just, when we sold it, it got restored, and I understand they did a beautiful job.
I've seen the
on it.
pictures. They did a fantastic job. It was a small house, as you know,
Yeah.
and it had a good little piece of history, but that history was different. You just got to see a little of it. I
Yeah.
mean, so when that 50th birthday party was going on, that was the house. You know, she didn't have a bigger home at that time. That was it.
Yeah.
You know, so that was a leaner time. I always say to people, they say, "Oh, you know, you lost everything." Well, I mean, it's all perspective. You know, we still were living always very good. Even when we allegedly had nothing, we still had a lot of nothing. Whatever nothing was, I don't think I've ever seen nothing. My mother always took amazing care of us.
Yes.
Always.
Yep. Now I'm trying to think. Someone is making a mention that Debbie, they smoked cigarettes, but she did, but she didn't. She liked to hold it.
I'll
but
show you what she did.
She didn't
Come
puff.
to me. I'll
she
show
didn't
you.
inhale.
We've talked about this last week, so this is what she did. She would go. So she would take a hit, hold it in her mouth, and just puff it out. Like if you watch her, she doesn't ever inhale. Like a guy that really smokes will go, you know, and shotgun it down.
Yeah.
She doesn't. She's and that was her way. It was almost a Betty Davis-y kind of a thing. You know, she would have her wine here and.
That's like those little Virginia Slims that used to make me laugh when I would see her light one up and.
Well, there it was.
And she would do the famous little puff, no inhale.
I think you do get a little something, you know, from the nicotine in your mouth. Obviously, that's not what did her in, so, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, if there's not anything else that you want to show, we're going to give stuff away.
No, I have everything.
We're all good.
I mean, I have this photo that I just found. I don't know if that's a birthday party or what. You had told me what that was recently.
What photo?
This photo right here.
Yeah, I mean, you could bring that up. I mean.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was just.
That's not it there,
I
buddy.
went through the party album.
Yeah, so that's another birthday party thing. And, you know, I mean, obviously my mom's got that Western top on. In fact, weren't we going to put that up? I think
John Greer bought that top.
John Greer brought that top.
Yeah,
so did you give him the picture?
Yeah, he has these
Okay,
pictures.
good. So, John, congratulations. This is a great little moment in time. That was a party. You see the drum set to the right?
Yes.
So they're obviously fooling around there. And I can't believe Carrie would be drinking a Pepsi. That's just sacrilegious. As you all know, only Coca-Cola for Carrie. So Virginia Slims for Debbie with her Behringer Zinfandel wine. And Carrie was Coca-Cola all the way. Now,
Yep.
Carrie, as you also know, smoked, but Carrie actually smoked. So that wasn't good. Carrie actually, that did contribute to her short life, was that there was cardiovascular damage potentially from smoking. Obviously does not do good things to your cardiovascular system.
Right.
There's a lot of things. I've always been fortunate. I've never smoked. I know you used to smoke when you were much younger, but I never smoked. I always thought it was nasty.
It is nasty, and I smoked like most people. I started smoking really young, and I'd go off and on, and then, you know, I had something really dire happen, and I ended up in the emergency room and facing my mortality. I remember thinking my mom would...
Worth it. Not.
No. I remember when I thought I wasn't going to make it, and I was thinking about my mom, and at the time she was like 80.
Because you used to take care of her.
She was 84, yeah, and I just knew she wouldn't be able to deal with it emotionally, you know, and so I made a deal with God, and that was the end of that.
And you're living up to your end of the bargain.
I am living up to my end of the bargain because I you know, and now
choose to.
I choose to, but when I see people smoking, well, as a hypnotist, you know, it's a joy and my pleasure to help people stop smoking because I do think that I have a good gift with that. But, you know, the point is that you choose life is what it comes down to. But I don't want people to have to wait till their hospital moment and they're making backroom deals with the Lord, you know, about smoking because it's scary, you know, but it is,
Well,
it does choose life.
It does take that sometimes to
Yeah.
get people to make the right choice finally. Sometimes it takes those things. Harry Carl got scared straight early on in his smoking career.
Yeah.
But he went back right after they cured him, you know, so, and then he ended up dying young from that, respectively
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah.
You know, now my grandfather, you know, smoked for many years. Then when when they found out cigarettes will kill you, he quit for 20 years. And then when he got to be like the age you just saw him, like in his 70s, he would sit in his shack and smoke cigars. And somebody says, well, that's bad for you. He says, believe me. And by the way, he never died of cancer or anything
Yeah.
else. He was into his 80s, still smoking cigars in the shop. I used to go in there like,
But you don't inhale cigars.
no, but you do the secondhand smoke in a garage.
Yeah.
The whole room would be like we're making a horror movie in there, and we had the haze set on. You know,
Today you have to buy a fog machine, but back then you just had to sit
just
and
invite my
puff,
grandfather.
puff, puff. That's right. Okay, let's give stuff away because we are so excited. But I think we sold all the mugs.
Yeah, the mugs are sold out.
Yep.
We sold.
Thank you to everybody.
We sold the pin bundle with the crystal.
Oh,
the
this
cut
one here?
crystal,
Okay.
So this
the
one
desk
here.
bundle, and then we sold one of the other things, and I don't have it in
Oh,
front of
I
me
think
right
I
now,
do.
but I know we sold it. Let's see what else it is. I have it right in front of me. Well, what's left? Let's put it this way: is the carry pin, writing pin, and the vase is what's left.
Yeah,
for our
that's
deal
what's
right
left out of
now.
those two.
Everything
But I
else
just
is
want
sold
to say, if you guys are enjoying the show, don't forget to like and subscribe. When you hit those buttons, it helps us tremendously. And
here comes the big payoff. She gives away the farm every week. I try to discourage her, and she insists upon multiple gifts
love
of
that.
very high end.
I love
now,
giving stuff
and
away.
I do have to go back, and I've been talking to the Warner Brothers people that we ran out of. We haven't given away a Blu-ray in a while. We need to get more Blu-rays.
Okay.
Because they were willing to give us some more.
Yep. Well, let me just say this.
I always felt good about that because I thought it was very much on topic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the cat cosmetics is very much on topic too.
Well, it is because
you're Cat.
If you haven't, because I'm Cat. If you haven't ever been here before and you're here tonight, and let me just tell you that we have two
If you haven't been
wheels.
to Ass Vegas, look at the
If-
sign. Ass Vegas.
Yes,
Join us at Ass Vegas.
that's right. Well, you were the
Or
one
it could
that
be
set
As
the,
Vegas.
You set the camera.
As Vegas. As Vegas. That could be another phrase we've reinvented here. By the way, behind me, there's Debbie's 1963 Riviera Hotel Bob Mackie costume, which is pretty cool if those of you haven't seen some of these things. And then if you are to look at this wider shot, you'll see over the gold dress over Kat's head, my mother's final dress for her last few years of her life, including her final performance in the South Point, which was also
Correct.
in Bright Lights. And then over on the other side is from the hotel era, and that's another Bob Mackie. And of course, the droids belonged to, Carrie gave me the droids years and years and years ago. And you see some of my camera collection up here. So if you're wondering what and how the set came to be, it is just an eclectic version of what goes on in our life. We just keep bringing different things out to,
Yes.
to suit our show.
So if you haven't been here before, the first prize will is if you have commented in the comment section on YouTube here, your name is automatically added to that wheel, and it is a randomized wheel. It is digitally randomized, and we'll pick 6 people. If you donated last week during the show, the second wheel will be for you because only the names of the people who donated are on the second wheel for the super prize. If you donated tonight, then you will be on next week's super prize wheel, so make sure to come back for that. And also, it's just time to give it away. Are you ready? I am ready. So Kyle, Ryan's not feeling great, so I didn't bring him
Well,
on
there it
camera
is. The wheel's
tonight.
ready to spin. Just have him
Kyle
spin it.
is here. Spin it, baby. Here we go. So excited because Kyle is coming with us to Columbus, Ohio this year. All right. Julie Golden, you have won. You have won the travel size of the Miracle Working Muscle Gel. This is the best muscle gel. It is from my company, Cat Cosmetics. I'll let Todd show it on the close-up. This is so good. It's going through clinical trials soon, probably in less than a week. Doctor is putting it in clinical trials because we are getting so much incredible feedback from this. So I'm very excited about that. Julie Golden, that is for you. Make sure you and anybody who wins tonight, you write and give us your address or email, whatever we ask for. This I'll need Julie's email to catandtoddlive@gmail.com. Let's go for winner number 2. Let's do it. And winner number 2. This is so exciting, the way that this works, because you just don't know who it's going to be. Beige 8508. Is that what I'm saying?
Yep.
Beige?
B-E-J.
Beige. It would be nice if I knew if it was a guy or a
Well,
girl.
they have to write you with their
That's right. You're gonna. I'm
email.
gonna Beige. I'm gonna need your address, whether you are a guy or girl. It doesn't matter, because this is the most amazing skincare. It's my company, and this is the Miracle Working Clarifying Serum. It's hyaluronic, and it is anti-aging, and it is great for men or women, and it is fantastic. So I need your address, and we will send that out to you on Monday morning. All right, and congratulations. That's a new name to me, and you are a new winner. So welcome and congratulations. Now, number 3.
Spin.
John Eric St. James. It's so
Karma.
perfect. It's good karma. Thank you so much, John Eric. You know what? John Eric, why don't you tell me what you would like? You can have skincare. You can have...
Debbie cream?
You can have the Debbie cream, or you can have the muscle gel. So you call it, you just write me and tell me what you would like, okay? Because... catandtoddlive@gmail.com. John Eric, and let me know what you would like, okay? Because that I'm going to let you pick. All right.
There we go.
And the next one is...
Now, you guys need to split this up like half cosmetics, half other stuff.
Yeah, we are. We do it
Okay.
every week.
Well, I
Cali,
see more cosmetics coming.
Cali Chaos? Is that what
Yeah,
that says?
Cali Chaos.
Cali
That's a funny
Chaos?
That's a funny handle.
I know, and I assume that I shouldn't assume, but do you think that's
Sounds
a girl?
like a girl.
Okay, good. Because this is also from Cat Cosmetics. My company is called catcosmetics.com, catcosmetics.com. I've had it for 24 years. I make the best, the most beautiful makeup and skincare. And here we go. Let me show that on the close-up camera. This is one of my favorite lipsticks. It's called Barely There. It doesn't wear as dark as it looks there. It actually is a little bit more of a natural color, but it's gorgeous. I have it on underneath my gloss tonight. But Callie, you have won that. So please write me at catandtoddlive@gmail.com and give me your address, and I will get that out to you on Monday morning.
Go.
And then, let's see, we're going on
Spin.
number 5. Spin the wheel, and here we go. Righty. And Brenda in PA.
Pennsylvania.
Brenda, you have won. This is the memorial program from the public memorial that we had for Carrie and Debbie. Wow, what an incredible day that was. And it's beautiful on the inside. It's the program that we had, really amazing. The last picture that Todd and Debbie are in, an amazing shot right there. And then the back, of course, has the famous Ricky LaChance picture. And you get also with that this beautiful, I always want to say it's ceramic.
Enamel.
But enamel.
Here,
It's
I'll
an
hold it.
enamel pin, and he's
Close-up
going to
camera.
show it over there because it's not in the packaging. And I love this. Todd wears it all the time. You wear it every time we go out.
I do.
On your lapel. And so that is the famous Ricky LaChance picture too. So you have won that. If you would please just write me at catandtoddlive@gmail.com. Let Ryan know your address, and I will get this out to you on Monday morning as well. All right. And finally, the last is going to be Diane Vasquez. Diane Vasquez.
She might have that.
She might have that. All right. I don't know, but Diane, this
If you
is
do or
this is a
don't.
CD of Debbie's music,
and you can load it into your computer,
you can, yeah,
and then you
that's
don't
what
have
I
to
do.
pay.
I load that into my computer. But also, if you already have this, Diane, just let
yeah,
me
but
know.
we could go with an Eddie CD. We
Well,
have
Diana, I know Diane
a Debbie
Vasquez, so
cream.
she can.
How
So
about a
Debbie
Debbie
cream.
cream? How
so,
about that as an
so
alternative?
write us and let us know what you would like. Okay, Diane, and just write me at catandtoddlive@gmail.com, or you might even text me. I know Diane, so this is a good thing. All right, so now we're moving on to the super wheel, okay? The super wheel are all the donators from last week, so the wheel is much smaller, and you have a chance at one super prize. So Now, let's just talk about this before. If it's somebody that's already won this, then or has this?
We will
or
come up
bought
with an
this?
alternate.
Okay. All right, great. So, Kyle, let's spin the super wheel and see who won this week. That's right. Kyle, are you there? Oh, no, Kyle's there. We're not there.
Now we are.
Yeah, we need to be where Kyle is.
There it
There
is.
you go.
Disneyland Dude.
Disneyland Dude?
05.
Disneyland Dude 05? I don't
Disneyland
know.
Dude
I
05.
don't know who's behind that name. Who's that man behind the curtain?
Well, they have to email you, and
Yeah, you will.
Here's
well,
what
that's
they win right here.
Okay, so you go to the close-up camera because here is your prize. Now you tell them what they're looking at.
so this is a piece of floor, originally from MGM Studios as a rehearsal floor, later moved to Debbie Reynolds Dance Studio from 1979 to 2018. You can come to me. And we had it laser engraved, and each piece is numbered. This is number 85 of 250. But this is, everybody from Michael Jackson to Fred Astaire to my mother to Anne Margaret, you name it, everybody danced
On that
on
floor.
this floor. And
Yep.
so you can, if you want, you can lay it down on the floor and dance on it too.
But we do have, if anybody wants to purchase that, it is available on the DebbieReynoldsStudioStore.com.
But it's.
But what a great
it's
prize.
These are what I call premium
Disney
items.
Dude, you are the winner, and I'm going to need to
Of the
get your
premium.
address so we can send it out to you on Monday. Congratulations. I'm so happy.
And if you happen to have that, then let us know and we'll figure out something of similar value.
Are you taking me to dinner tonight?
Do you want to go out?
I'm thinking yes.
Okay.
You know what? Our water we have no water. I'm
Well,
thinking I might like to go to a hotel
So
to take
here's
a
what I
shower.
did. No, but here's what I did. I actually, we didn't hear back from that guy, right, Buck? So what I did as a backup plan is I ordered something on Amazon that it comes at 4 a.m. So by tomorrow morning we will have water.
Well,
But that is
you're
not a
not going to
permanent
get up
fix.
at 4 a.m. and do that.
No, but I'll get up at 7 and do it.
So it's a quick fix, though, until the plumber gets here?
Well, we have the toilets figured out for the evening.
Well, that's good, but man,
We have really good
a
Fiji
shower
water.
is must have. I've got to find running water. Yes, but Patrick's in town. I don't
And
want
I
to come
have a
over
bathroom.
and like get in someone's apartment and
And I have
dirty
a
up their
bath. It's
bathroom.
silly.
But we might take
He
you
would
up
love
on it.
He'll
'cause
make you a
I
Was
want a
there water in the
shower.
tank? But because if there's water in the tank, I could pressurize the line enough for a shower.
Yeah, I don't think so, because when I wash this hair, it's 15
Can
minutes.
pump
You know
the
that.
water from the pool into the bathtub.
No, I have.
I might
If there
just
really
jump
is
in
water in
pool.
the tank, then I could get.
I forgot
could-
about the pool. Okay. Hey, listen, thank you, everybody. And if you donated tonight, make sure you wait until you see the reel. And I just wanted to say, because we're getting closer, I'm going to be, I'm all over the place this summer, so I'll be playing at a city near you. And if you want my schedule, you can go to CatherineHickland.com. That's me. It's Catherine with a C, HickLand.com, and you can see where I'll be performing this summer. But on a very special night, on April 26th, I will be performing for a really great cause. I'm doing a hypnosis show and a mind reading and hypnosis show. Super fun, super funny. And it's going to be on April 26th in Annville, Pennsylvania, which is about 15 or 20 minutes outside of Hershey.
Don't
And I'm-
forget, Ryan's got a claim sale tomorrow.
Oh, and right. But anyway, if you want, let me just finish that thought before I go to another one. If you want to buy tickets to the one in Annville, Pennsylvania, April 26th, go to CatherineHickland.com. You can just click into the poster there, and I think you can buy your tickets right there. And it's only $15 for adults, $10 for students, because we have a lot of seats to fill. But oh my gosh, I would love to meet you. So please come see me in Pennsylvania. What?
Easy out the ring.
I know. All right. So until then, on behalf of
No, you're going to talk
Well,
about the
and
claim
then-
sale.
the claim sale,
Do you
yes.
want me to I can.
Sure, go in. Go,
Oh,
let's. Okay.
Well, I was just going to say, if you go on to the Debbie Reynolds Hollywood Studio Store, so that's Debbie Reynolds Hollywood Studio Store, Facebook group, it's a private Facebook group where we have exclusive, all kind of firsthand things for you guys before things that we don't even put on the studio store per se, that are just kind of one-off really fun items. And we have these things called a claim sale that we put together and that Ryan runs on Sundays, sometimes every Sunday, sometimes every other Sunday. But if you just go click to join that group, we'll let you in. And tomorrow we have one at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's really fun. We have some fun items from the collection, from Debbie's personal collection, that are going to be up for sale for you guys for a good price, for a good cause. So we have that. And on that note, I think we're ready to close out. I found a really cool video, since it's in honor of your mom's birthday, before we do the crawl, to play
Okay,
on our way
before
out.
we do
All
the
right.
crawl or
the crawl
anything,
will
are we
follow, so
not
you
going
can
to
sign
sing "Ha" for your mom?
We can do it.
Let's do it. Everybody get ready. Me, 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 me. What you want to do is get that one note ready and carry it out as long as you can. If you are a regular watcher, you know which version of Happy Birthday this is. The Ha. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I had more in me, but I
You
was
did.
told to cut it off.
Well, you
Boom.
didn't want to embarrass me too bad.
Breath.
Okay, here we go. Happy birthday, Mama. We love you and miss you.
Okay, the scroll, right?
This is for you, donators.
Oh, it's coming from
Thank
Ryan?
you so much.
And I'm singing my song for you. You are my music. When you're here, my inspiration. Each time you're here, I never change. This is my life. You are the magic laughter can bring, the sheer excitement. Each time I sing, I know I'd rather be with you all of my life. Music is my one selfish passion. Singing is my celebration. Dancing with the people like you as a natural high. Silence such a joy and pleasure. Laughing is a special treasure. Joking with the people like you as a natural Dancing with the people like you as a natural Happiness to everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming to the show. Good night. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Catherine Hicklin. Some of you may know me best from One Life to Live, but I also own catcosmetics.com. Only the best cosmetics in the world.
I use the Miracle Working Kit on a mother and daughter. It's easy to use, works for all skin types, and comes with a how-to DVD. So if you want to look 10 years younger in less than 5 minutes, or you just want to look more beautiful than you've ever been in your life, come on over to catcosmetics.com and make sure you sign up for special discounts, new products, and inspirations.
I hear the cottonwoods whispering above. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy's in love. The old hooty owl, hooty hoos to the dove. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy's in love. Does my lover feel what I feel when he comes near? My heart beats so joyfully. You'd think that he could hear. Wish I knew if he knew what I'm dreaming of. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy's in love. Very sweet. Thank you. Thank you very much.